I used to believe that life was something that needed to be navigated. You know, I needed to have a certain amount of money, I needed to have a certain amount of status or followers on social media, or I needed to have a certain job, or I believed that a certain job would fix my life. I believed that a certain job would like give me fulfillment, lasting fulfillment. I believed that doing something would be the thing that would solve life. So there is a journey that I see awareness taking when it wakes up to itself. And there are really 4 stages, if you will, 4 sort of, I guess, states or stages of consciousness. And the first one, and these are not good or bad. One is not better than any of the other states, if you will, and I think it's only natural to jump back and forth between these 4 states, but the higher we go in these 4 states, the more at peace we will be with our life exactly as it is without needing it to be a certain way. And the first stage is victim. Right? You can be a victim to life, and this is usually what we believe when we come from a very traumatic background. This is what trauma does. We believe that life is happening to me. I am being attacked by life. And the me that believes that it's being attacked is this one that believes that he needs to arrive somewhere. So victim, it creates a separation between the outer world is out here somewhere. And it's dangerous because it's been harmful to me in the past. It's traumatized me. So I need to protect this seeming inner world. I need to protect myself from said pain happening again in the future somewhere. So that's the victim state, believing that the world is unsafe and I am in here separate from the outer world, and I'm not really taking responsibility or accountability for what happened to me because it was someone else's fault. It was an external threat that hurt me. And it can be very stagnant to exist as in the victim stage. Very stagnant. We can feel like change is impossible, like this is who I am. It's gonna be like this forever. I can't believe that this is always happening to me, right? That victim mentality. Nothing wrong with it, but change and transformation is impossible there because we are stagnant. I hope the lighting is gonna be good on the video. But it's a very beautiful day outside. Spring in Sweden, best time of the year. The next stage, if you will, is we go from victim to actually learning to take responsibility for our life. We believe then in responsibility that I am the doer of my happiness. I can create my own happiness. I can make a life. I can create a fulfilling life, and I can make life into something favorable. So all of that pain that we have been sitting with in victim consciousness, we are using as a catalyst to drive us into creating a life of transformation and change. We're trying to arrive somewhere in the future, and this is where the entire planet operates in. Most of us operates in either victim, we are a victim to our circumstances, or responsibility. I am responsible for my circumstances. I can make my own happiness. And it becomes a trap because society glorifies responsibility, the responsibility stage, so much that it's what drives everything, right? If I have a certain amount of money, I will be happy. I will work hard now. I don't feel good enough right now because I have all this pain on the inside coming from the victim stage. I'm gonna work hard now, and then one day in the future, I'm gonna arrive at a place where I'm gonna be happy and fulfilled and at peace. So I can't rest right now because there's so much to do, and what I do matters. I feel worthy from what I do. If I stop doing, I don't feel worthy. So if I lay down to rest, I'm not worthy. I can't rest. I need to prove myself. I need to do my way into happiness. And everyone in society is just like clapping and cheering on, like, yeah, you're doing so good, you're doing well. Look at this guy, he's so rich, he's got so much money. He's made it. So we glorify this stage, but we always feel like something is missing because we need just a little bit more. A little bit more money, a little bit more fame, a little bit more power, a little bit more something, right? And then the third stage, is where things really start to shift. I mean, obviously things shift throughout these 4 radically. Significant shifts take place throughout these 4 all the time. When the victim wakes up to responsibility, it's like, I'm responsible. Maybe it's up to me to make myself suffer less. How am I going to make myself suffer less? I'm going to become someone. I'm going to become rich, says the victim, for example. And then he starts taking responsibility and drives transformation in his life. He goes from being a victim to circumstances to a creator, to a doer of life, to a doer of circumstances. So he believes that he's going to create happiness by doing things. And then going into the third stage of consciousness, of awareness, waking up, is surrender. It's like, okay, I've been doing enough now. I've got all this money, I've got all this fame, I got all I've achieved all these goals, I've traveled everywhere, and still there's something that feels like it's missing on the inside. What is it that is missing on the inside? Why do I feel like something is missing? And that's when awareness starts to, instead of look out here in the world, to believe that something out here is going to save itself from the sense that something is off or feeling unworthy or missing or lacking. It starts to go inward. Maybe there's something in here. And then we start to find that, I have all of this unprocessed, unfelt pain in the nervous system. I carry a lot of dysregulation. I feel unsafe. Maybe there's something in my childhood. Maybe there's something that happened when I was a teenager that makes me feel a certain way. Maybe there's traumatic memories that I haven't dealt with, that I have been running from, and maybe I had glimpses of, like, I don't want to think about that, as a victim or as a responsibility stage, in the responsibility stage. I don't want to think about that. It's like, I need to do my way. These become apparent again. These become highlighted again in surrender. And we start to realize that maybe it's not about achieving something. Maybe it's not about working hard. Maybe it's not about becoming anything or anyone or anybody special. Maybe it's just about this. Maybe I am the goal. Maybe the goal is not out there. Maybe I am the goal. Maybe that's what is actually happening. What if I am the goal? How does that feel? It feels great. All of a sudden I don't feel like I need to achieve a goal. All of a sudden I don't feel like I'm lacking something. All of a sudden I feel fulfilled without needing to do anything. That's interesting. Maybe it was all about surrendering to life rather than do life. Maybe that's what it is. And then this person, the one trying to arrive, the one trying to get somewhere, may start to try to arrive at enlightenment, being enlightened. It's like, I wonder what is enlightenment? What is that? What is the experience? What is the enlightened experience like? What does that feel like? I wanna pursue that instead. So the desire for material success and fame and gain and whatever shifts into just desire for enlightenment, which is the same seeking, the same belief that I will arrive somewhere, but instead of the journey being out there, it's like a spiritual journey, if you will. I will pursue enlightenment now. I'm going to surrender my way to enlightenment. And that is actually a really good path to be on. And there will be a lot more grace there. There will be a lot less resistance. There will be obviously a lot of pain that has to be felt in and dealt with in surrender, because all of that accumulated pain from being a victim and running from that pain, trying to achieve something, is going to have to be felt and dealt with and truly integrated and embodied and carried with us. And so there will be a lot of pain. There will actually be everything, every sensation that is possible to experience as a human being. Every feeling, every sensation, every emotion, every thought. All of it has to be included and held with neutral openness and not pedestalized or discriminated against anything. Joy is not better than shame. All of the emotions and sensations are seen as completely equal and held with complete neutral openness. Complete, equal, neutral openness. And then doing that enough time, for me, it has taken a long time until the one that believed that he was the victim, the one believing that he was the worthless one, or the one believing that he was traumatized, or the one believing that he was trying to arrive somewhere, the one that needed to be courageous, the one that needed to be known, the one who didn't need to be known, the child, the entire structure of the personality that is built, the entire drive for success and achievement and arriving in the future, the entire self-structure has to be seen and felt and allowed exactly as it is. And then when that pain, when all that tension in the nervous system that we have accumulated from the first two stages, if you will, when all of that pain has been followed to the depths, to the root, to the core wound, then we will start to see all of these identities that I just named. And when the core of the identity structure has been felt and allowed and held with equal neutral openness, then we will shift into the fourth stage, which is oneness or unity, which is the absence of the one needing enlightenment or trying to achieve anything at all, trying to make life agree, trying to make life play according to our terms or rules. So it's the end of wanting things. It's the end of wanting life to be a certain way. And it's really the beginning of being fine no matter what happens with anything, even fine with death. Because the one that was scared of death is also just an identity that has been extremely deep in the identity structure, that has been sort of allowed, felt, and allowed to be exactly as it is until it's not no longer identified with. And then what emerges there is just this, as life always was. Sound is sound, sights are sights, and there's like there may be like silence perhaps in the mind, because the mind is no longer seeking anything, because it's seen that the seeking mechanism of trying to arrive somewhere, trying to get somewhere, driven by craving, wanting things to be different than what they are right now, that sort of mechanism has exhausted itself, and it's no longer identified with or even believed that it will give us what we think it will give us. We get tired of that whole game of trying to arrive somewhere. And what is left then is just like this speech, and obviously very difficult to put into words, but yeah, it's just openness that is left. And it's really the absence of identification. And it shifts the way we navigate life, because how I used to navigate life was as a person trying to arrive somewhere, trying to achieve a goal. And now it's like it's kind of disorienting. Like, okay, so it feels like something is missing, not in the way it used to feel like something was missing. Nothing is missing. What is missing is the thing that felt like something was missing. And that has been the main driver for my entire life, and for everyone that has walked this path for our entire lives, right? And so the absence of that is just like, what is this? You know, it's like wonder. Like, what is life? Like, I am this. I am life. Like, this thing, this little pine cone, right, is made of atoms, right? And I am made of that. I am this. This is what I am. But for some reason, I am this instead of this. and there's speech coming here and happening, and it's like what is left. It's just wonder for the absolute absurdity of how this is even possible, you know? And we are all that, and we are all it, and it has become aware enough to understand this, not intellectually, but like as a lived direct experience happening right now for all of eternity, all the time. And it's moving now, and it's driving itself, awareness, right? It's everything. And so what's left is just that wonder, and life continues, and the bills has to be paid, and we live in this world where there are there's like all of this suffering and everything, because we're also occupied and stuck believing that this is what is victim responsibility. We haven't figured out as a society that there's a different way, there's another way. We can we can expand into something that is more this available and beautiful and present and unknown and mysterious and so beautiful. And so how do you navigate a society that is built on the first two stages of awareness, after you have sort of seen what is happening? You see the suffering that is taking place in especially the first two stages, victim and responsibility. And then you learn to surrender to your pain, and you learn to do all that shadow work and allow that to come out, like, because all of us, we carry it. Otherwise we wouldn't be stuck as a victim and in responsibility, like trying to arrive somewhere, trying to improve ourselves. The one needing to improve himself is based in pain because he feels like he's not enough as he is. So he's trying to arrive somewhere where he will feel worthy, unaware that, oh, I carry a wound of unworthiness. Maybe I should surrender to that. Maybe I should allow that. Maybe I should heal that, so that I can actually transcend, if you will, the one trying to transcend even that. And yeah, so it's a very seemingly backwards journey from what we're so used to in this day and age and in this society. But it's the most beautiful journey, most beautiful journey. And of course, this spiritual journey is pedestalized by when we are in these earlier stages, because what happens is that we stop suffering, because what the one suffering was the one that we dissolved through the journey, through the shadow work, through the facing all the pain. When the pain was sort of followed at its root, the one suffering is seen to just be the same mechanism. So we integrate it and we let it go. So there's no suffering. That sort of self-referencing suffering of I'm not good enough, I need this, I need that, I feel like something is missing, something is not right, that disappears completely. But it's not better. It's not better in the way that you would think that it is better from the earlier stages. It's just like the absence of the belief that that is better. And so it is different, it is better, but it's not better in the way that we would think that it's better. It's just like, it's not better in the way the mind believes something is better or worse, because the mind is pedestalizing everything all the time. So it's not better in that regard. It's just like the absence of needing things to be good or bad, the absence of good or bad, the absence of better or worse, the absence of preference, the absence of when I feel a heavy sensation or a painful sensation in the body, the absence of needing that sensation to go away, the absence of the one trying to make things to be different than what they are right now. And with the absence of that, things feel, let's swap the word better for a lot lighter, a lot more graceful. And then we start to recognize ourselves as just life, as this pine cone. I am this life. Somehow just here, you know? So that's maybe how I would summarize the entire spiritual journey. Back to the end of all journeys, back to the end of believing that we are on a journey, believing that we are a character traveling through time or whatever. Like, it's the end of that, and then it's just this. And that's awesome. That is awesome. How do we navigate that? I don't know. I don't need to know. The one needing to know is seen to be the same part of the identity structure. It's good, it's fine. Just see what comes. If death comes, that's fine. If life comes, that's fine. But what I do know is that there's no arrival. The arrival happens when we stop expecting the arrival to happen. We arrive in that non-arrival, and then we realize, oh, it's just a continuation of everything that was always here. And we just allow the sensations and everything to just flow naturally as they always were. Free from self-referencing thoughts that make us suffer. That's how I would define it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you feel like this was interesting to you. Comment. I make sure to answer all of the comments. And give it a like if you want to as well. And maybe I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Peace out.